Welcome back. This channel exists because of your support. Subscribe, hit like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now let's get into the story. The wine glass slipped from her hand, red liquid spreading across my coffee table. Natalie stared at me from the couch, her face frozen between recognition and disbelief. "What did you just say?" she whispered. I watched the wine seep into the wood grain. "When did you start pulling away?" she'd asked, voice trembling. Like the past 6 months hadn't been a masterclass in calculated distance. I'd looked at her evenly. "When I realized you wouldn't stay?" Now she sat there, watching those words detonate. Her mouth opened, closed. The color drained from her face. "I don't understand what you mean," she managed. The woman who'd been planning her exit for 18 months couldn't understand plain English. The woman who'd secretly accepted a 2-year fellowship in Copenhagen while letting me believe we were building a life together was confused. "Copenhagen," I said. She went completely white. Looking back, I can see signs I missed. But when someone slowly constructs an alternative reality around you, you don't notice until it's almost too late. We met 4 years ago at an MIT mixer. I was recruiting for Technova Robotics. She was finishing her master's in urban planning, all ambition and brilliance. We talked for 3 hours that night. She made me laugh, challenged my assumptions. 6 months later, we were official. By year 2, we were talking about buying a house, about futures. Or so I thought. The changes started 18 months ago. March 2023. She became protective of her laptop, took calls in other rooms. When I suggested looking at houses, she deflected. "Let's wait until I'm further into my PhD. No point rushing." That made sense. I didn't push. By fall 2023, deflections became frequent. I'd mention next year's plans, she'd get vague. "Let's see how things go." Friends got engaged, she'd go quiet, change the subject. September 2023, at my friend Jeremy's place. His girlfriend had moved in, they were talking engagement. Someone asked about us. We'd been together 3 years. Natalie's smile was tight. "We're focusing on careers right now. No need to rush." I agreed, but her tone bothered me. Not casual deflection. Definitive. Relieved. Driving home. "Are we okay?" "Of course. Why wouldn't we be?" "You seemed uncomfortable when they asked about us." "I just think it's nobody's business what our timeline is." "But we have talked about a timeline, right? We're on the same page?" She squeezed my hand. "Oliver, I'm with you. That's what matters. Can we not overanalyze?" I dropped it, because I wanted to believe her. December 2023. Her graduate program's holiday party in Cambridge. I arrived late from work. Found Natalie in the kitchen with fellow PhD students. Positioned myself outside the doorway, unnoticed. "The thing about Oliver is he's so Boston," she was saying. "He's great, but he's never leaving this city. Family in Providence, job here, entire life here." "Is that a problem?" someone asked. Light, dismissive laugh. "It's just reality. Some people are settlers. I've always been more of a nomad. I need to see the world, build an international career." "So what does that mean for you guys?" Rachel, her closest friend. "I don't know yet. I guess I'll figure it out when I need to." I stood there, beer in hand, processing. She'd told her friends our relationship had an expiration date, that I was too rooted for her international ambitions, that she was planning something she hadn't told me. I walked in like I hadn't heard anything. Smiled. Made small talk. Watched her face. She was momentarily flustered but recovered. Driving home, I tested. "Your friends seem excited about next year." "Yeah, everyone's thinking about what comes next." "What about you? What comes next?" Quiet moment. "I've been thinking about some research opportunities. Nothing definite." "What kind of opportunities?" "Just some fellowships. Europe, mostly. Super competitive, probably nothing." "You'd want to go to Europe?" "If the right opportunity came up, it would be incredible for my career. But it's not something to worry about now." Casual. Like maybe trying a new restaurant. Not potentially moving to another continent. I wanted to push. Something stopped me. Fear of what I'd find. Hope I'd misunderstood. Cowardice. March 2024. Tuesday morning. Natalie stayed over, sleeping late. I was working from home. Her messenger bag sat open on the chair, large envelope visible with MIT letterhead. I stood there, debating privacy versus self-preservation. But I'd known something was wrong since December. This was just confirmation. I pulled it out. Read. "Dear MS. Kemp, Congratulations on being selected for the Fulbright Fellowship in Urban Sustainability and Climate Adaptation, Copenhagen, Denmark. The fellowship will begin September 1st, 2024, and continue through August 31st, 2026. Please confirm your acceptance by April 15th, 2024. March 8th, 2 weeks earlier. Hands shaking. 2 years in Copenhagen. 6 months away. She'd known for 2 weeks. Worse, I checked the folder. Email printouts about logistics. Apartment listings in Copenhagen. A timeline, visa application, sublet apartment, notify program advisor, and damning. Conversation with Oliver. Target. June. 3 months notice before 2 years abroad. Draft email to her landlord about subletting September 1st. I photographed everything. Returned it exactly as found. Splashed water on my face in the bathroom, staring at a stranger. When Natalie woke, she was cheerful. Morning, babe. Breakfast somewhere? Sure. My voice sounded normal. Davis Square. She talked about her dissertation, a conference, maybe cutting her hair. I listened, nodded, responded. She had no idea everything had changed. That I knew. That I was already planning. That afternoon, I called Jeremy. I need to talk. Coffee shop, Harvard Square. I showed him the photos. Jesus. I'm sorry, man. Acceptance deadline is 3 weeks away. She's planning to tell me in June. June, July, August to transition before September. You have to confront her. No. What? If I confront her now, she'll have explanations. She'll cry, apologize, promise we can make it work. And maybe I'll believe her because I want to. So what are you doing? Exactly what she's doing. Pulling away. Protecting myself. Stopping investment in a relationship with an expiration date she already marked. Jeremy was quiet. That's pretty cold. She's been planning to leave me for 18 months. She applied when we were supposedly building a future. She's documented her exit strategy except the honesty part. I don't think I'm the one being cold. He couldn't argue. Over the next weeks, I began strategic withdrawal. Stopped initiating future conversations. Responded vaguely. We'll see. Mirroring her language. Reduced texts. Stopped sharing funny things. She noticed. You've been quiet lately. Have I? Is everything okay? Work's fine. Then what is it? Nothing. Just busy. She looked concerned, but didn't push. By April, I skipped things. Her academic talk, work deadline, dinner with her friends, too tired. Each absence calculated. But it wasn't just strategy. Once you know someone's been lying 18 months, once you know they're planning to leave while letting you believe in a future, something breaks. Late April, her apartment. She cooked dinner. I was on the couch, half listening. Her phone on the table. She went to the bathroom. I'd never gone through her phone before. But she'd crossed so many lines. Unlocked. Nothing to hide, she'd always said. Text thread with Rachel. Have you told Oliver about Copenhagen yet? Not yet. Need to figure out the right way. You can't wait much longer. You leave in 6 months. I know. I'm trying to minimize the damage. What does that mean? Keep things stable until I have everything finalized. Then have the conversation. That seems kind of cruel, Nat. It's practical. What's the point of months of fighting? This way, we get a few more good months, then a clean break. I took screenshots. Heard the bathroom door. Phone back exactly where it was. Everything okay? She asked. Fine. Just checking work email. But minimize the damage, kept echoing. That's what I was. Damage to manage. That night, I decided. If she wanted stability until departure, I'd give her the opposite. Make it clear I was already gone emotionally. By June, when she planned her conversation, I'd be so distant it wouldn't matter. In May, my company offered promotion. Senior engineer, new project, significant raise. Everything I'd worked for. Normally, Natalie would be first to know. I accepted without telling her. She found out by accident 2 weeks later. My laptop open. Congratulations, email visible. Oliver, you got promoted? When were you going to tell me? Oh yeah, couple weeks ago. A couple weeks? Why didn't you say anything? I shrugged. Just work stuff. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. This is huge. It's a job. Jobs come and go. She stared like I was a stranger. What is going on with you? Nothing's going on. You've been so distant. You don't share things anymore. You're not interested in my life. You barely respond. This isn't like you. Maybe you don't know me as well as you think. Silence. She withdrew, processing. I wondered if she suspected I knew. If she felt guilty. Not guilty enough to tell me the truth. June. Wedding in Newport, Rhode Island. Friend's wedding at Castle Hill Inn. We'd RSVP'd months earlier. By now, things were visibly strained. The drive down Friday afternoon, oppressive silence. She tried conversations. Minimal responses. Rehearsal dinner. People noticed. How I didn't touch her. How we might as well have been strangers. You two are next, right? We're focused on other priorities, I said. Natalie flushed with embarrassment. Saturday ceremony. Beautiful. Emotional vows about commitment. Natalie cried. I couldn't tell if she was moved or upset about us. Reception. Someone asked how long we'd been together. For years. You must be thinking about the next step? Before Natalie could answer. We're seeing how things develop. Awkward surprise. Oh, well, no need to rush. Friend pulled me aside. Is everything okay with you two? Why do you ask? Because you seem like you can barely stand each other. We're fine. You're obviously not fine. Sunday drive back. Silent first hour. Then, are you trying to punish me for something? No. Then what is this? This coldness? I'm being realistic about where we are. And where is that? You tell me. You seem to have all the plans figured out. She went pale. What does that mean? Nothing. Forget it. We didn't speak the rest of the drive. July. Natalie's panic obvious. Multiple attempts at serious conversations. I deflected, gave non-answers. She'd ask what I wanted. I'd ask the same. Neither answered. She invited me to dinner, elaborate meal. Trying to recreate earlier us. You can't go back once things break. I feel like I'm losing you. Are you? I don't know. Am I? That's a question you need to answer. She cried. Why are you being like this? What did I do? I almost told her. Almost laid it out. But I wanted to see if she'd tell me first. Be honest without being forced. She didn't. Early August. Cookout at Amanda's place, Jamaica Plain. Amanda's my coworker. She noticed immediately. You two okay? Not really. Want to talk? Not yet. Thanks for asking. At the cookout, people discussed fall plans. Someone asked Natalie about her dissertation. Actually, there are some changes. I'll have news soon. Good news. I think so. Yes. Everyone looked at me expectantly. I just said, congratulations, and sipped my beer. The group picked up on the strangeness. I left early. Didn't offer Natalie a ride. That night, she texted, we can't keep doing this. Doing what? This. Whatever this is. We need to talk. Okay. Can I come over tomorrow? If you want. Do you want me to? That's up to you. She didn't come. Or the next night. Postponed 3 times over the next week. Different excuses. I didn't push. Just waited. Finally, September 7th, Saturday evening. She showed up unannounced. 8 p.m. I opened the door and found her standing there, looking nervous and determined in equal measure. Can I come in? Sure. She walked in and immediately noticed the changes. I'd been slowly packing up my apartment, organizing things, clearing out, making it look less like a home and more like a way station. Boxes were visible in the corner of the living room. Are you moving? She asked. Reorganizing. She sat on the couch. I remained standing, keeping physical distance between us. That old strategic instinct. I don't know how to start this, she said. Just say what you came to say. It's not that simple. It never is. She looked up at me, and there were already tears forming. I feel like I'm losing you. Interesting timing for that feeling. What does that mean? It means you're not losing something you were holding on to. She absorbed that, looking wounded. I don't understand what happened. We were fine, and then suddenly you just withdrew. Were we fine? I thought we were. You thought we were, I repeated. Yes, and then you changed. You stopped trying, stopped caring. When did that happen exactly? When did I stop trying? She looked frustrated. I don't know. That's what I'm asking. And there it was. The moment. The thumbnail moment I'd been building toward for 6 months. When did you start pulling away? She asked, her voice breaking. I looked at her evenly, let the silence stretch for a moment, then said, when I realized you wouldn't stay. Her face changed. It was like watching something collapse from the inside. The words landed, and she understood, really understood, that I knew. What? It came out as barely a whisper. You heard me. I don't. What are you talking about? Copenhagen. She went completely white. Her hands started trembling. How do you? March 15th, Tuesday morning. You left your bag open. The letter from the Fulbright Commission was visible. Congratulations, by the way. 2-year fellowship in urban sustainability and climate adaptation. Starts in 1 week. She couldn't speak, just stared at me in horror. I've had 6 months to think about this. I continued, my voice calm and controlled. 6 months to understand what I was seeing. 6 months to prepare for this moment. Oliver, I was going to tell you. When? On the way to the airport? That's not fair. Fair? I walked over to where I'd left my phone and picked it up. Pulled up the photos I'd saved. I think these texts with Rachel are interesting. Let me read one. Keep things stable until I have everything finalized. Then have the conversation. That was your plan, right? Keep me comfortable and ignorant until you were ready to leave? She stood up, panicking now. You went through my phone. You were planning to leave me while pretending we had a future. I think that's a bigger violation than checking your messages. I showed her the screenshots, the text conversations, the photos of the fellowship letter, the apartment listings in Copenhagen. All of it. Those were private, she said weakly. So were your plans, apparently. She was fully crying now. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to hurt you. So your solution was to lie for 18 months? To let me think we were building something while you were planning your exit? It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Explain it to me. She couldn't answer. She stood there, tears streaming down her face, unable to defend the indefensible. I kept going. I know you applied for the fellowship in March of 2023. We'd been together 2.5 years. You were already planning to leave before we talked about looking at houses together. Before we spent Thanksgiving with my family. Before any of the moments I thought mattered. Those moments did matter, she insisted. Did they? Because according to your journal entry from September, this relationship has an expiration date. According to your texts, I'm damaged to be minimized. According to your timeline document, I was scheduled to be informed in June, giving me exactly 3 months' notice before you left for 2 years. Her face crumpled. You read my journal? I did. And you know what? I'm glad I did. Because it told me the truth you were too cowardly to say to my face. You want Copenhagen more than you want me. You've wanted it for over a year. You see me as temporary, as Boston, as the stable, boring option you're stuck with until you can escape to your exciting European life. That's not what I think of you. It's exactly what you think of me. You've documented it extensively. She sank back onto the couch, sobbing now. So what? You've been punishing me. For months? No. I've been protecting myself. There's a difference. By shutting me out. By doing exactly what you were planning to do to me. I just did it first. That's cruel. Cruel? I could feel anger rising now, breaking through the cold control I'd maintained. You let me believe we had a future. You let me plan around you. You let me think I mattered to you. All while secretly preparing to leave. And you want to talk to me about cruelty? She couldn't respond to that. Just kept crying. When were you going to tell me? I asked again. Specifically. I don't know. I was trying to find the right time. June. According to your messages, it was June. Give him time to process before I leave. You were going to give me 3 months' notice that our 4-year relationship was over. I wanted to wait until everything was certain. It's been certain since March. You've had 6 months of certainty. What you wanted was to control the narrative and the timing. To decide exactly how and when I found out. To manage me like a project with a deadline. She looked up at me, desperation clear in her face. We could still make this work. Long distance, or maybe you could. Could what? Move to Copenhagen? Drop everything and follow you? Maybe, if you wanted to. Did you want me to? She couldn't answer. The silence was answer enough. That's what I thought, I said. You didn't want me to come. You wanted a clean break. You wanted your exciting new life without me in it. You just wanted to control when that break happened. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. You chose Copenhagen. You chose your career. And that's fine. Those are valid choices. But you made them while lying to me for 18 months. That's the part one can't forgive. She stood up, tried to approach me. I stepped back. Don't. Oliver, please. I do love you. I believe you do. In your way. But you love Copenhagen more. You love the life you're planning there more. And you know what? That's okay. I'm not even angry about that part. What I'm angry about is the deception, the calculated lying, the complete disregard for my right to know what was happening in my own relationship. I was going to tell you. You were going to tell me when it was convenient for you, when you'd secured everything you needed, When you had your ducks in a row and could present it as a fait accompli. You were never going to give me a real choice or a real conversation. She was sobbing openly now. I don't know what to say. There's nothing to say. You made your decision 18 months ago. I've just been living in the aftermath, waiting to find out. So that's it. We're done? We've been done since March 8th. You just didn't tell me. She tried one more approach. What if I stayed? What if I turned down the fellowship? I looked at her carefully. Would you? The pause before she answered told me everything. I don't know. This is everything I've worked for. I know it is. And I'm not asking you to give it up. I'm just asking you to be honest. You don't want to stay? You want to go? You've wanted to go for 18 months. So go. Just like that. Just like that. She stood there, looking lost. Can we at least stay friends? Eventually? Maybe. Not now. When? I don't know. When it doesn't hurt. When I can think about you without feeling like I wasted 4 years on someone who was already planning to leave. She flinched at that. You didn't waste anything. Didn't I? You spent 18 months lying to me, letting me invest in a future you knew wouldn't happen, keeping me around for comfort while planning your escape. That feels like a waste to me. I never meant to hurt you. But you did. You hurt me the moment you applied for that fellowship without telling me. You hurt me every day you pretended we had a future. You hurt me every time you deflected my questions about next year. You hurt me continuously for 18 months. The fact that you didn't mean to doesn't make it hurt less. She was crying so hard now she could barely breathe. But I felt nothing. Or rather, I felt too much, buried under 6 months of strategic distance and calculated coldness. Under the anger and hurt and betrayal. I should go, she finally said. Yeah, you should. She walked to the door, paused with her hand on the knob. I leave on Thursday. The fellowship starts Monday. Have a good flight. She looked back at me one last time. I really did love you. Past tense, I noted. That's honest, at least. She left. The door clicked shut behind her. I stood in my living room, looking at the wine stain on my coffee table, and felt absolutely nothing. That was the thing about strategic emotional withdrawal. By the time the actual ending came, there was nothing left to grieve. The next few days were quiet. I didn't hear from Natalie. On Thursday, I knew she was flying out. I didn't watch her social media or ask mutual friends about her. I just went to work, came home, lived my life. Jeremy called that weekend. How are you doing? Fine. Really? It's done. I'm relieved more than anything. I'm proud of you, man. That took guts, the way you handled it. Did it? I'm not sure what I did was right. You protected yourself. After she spent 18 months lying to you. That's not just right. That's necessary. Maybe he was right. But in the quiet moments, I wondered, had I been protecting myself or punishing her? Had I been strategic or just cruel? The line felt blurry. By October, I was settling into my new reality. The promotion kept me busy. I threw myself into work, into the autonomous systems project I was leading. Found satisfaction in problems I could solve with logic and code rather than emotion. I started therapy. Figured I should probably process the whole thing with someone qualified. My therapist, Dr. Martinez, was helpful in ways I didn't expect. You're angry, she observed in our third session. No, I'm not. You're very angry. And that's okay. You have a right to be angry. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Those can coexist. She was right, of course. I was furious. Not just at Natalie, but at myself. For not seeing it sooner. For all the signs I ignored. For letting her control the narrative for so long before I finally took control back. Do you regret how you handled it? Dr. Martinez asked. I don't know. Sometimes. What do you regret? That I became someone cold and calculating. That I played games instead of just confronting her immediately. That I let it drag out for 6 months. Why did you do that? Because. I struggled to articulate it. Because if I'd confronted her right away, she would have had explanations. She would have cried and apologized and said she was planning to tell me. And maybe I would have believed her. Maybe I would have agreed to try long distance or to wait for her. And then I'd be sitting here waiting for someone who was never coming back. So you were protecting yourself. Or punishing her. I'm not sure there's a difference. There is a difference. Protection is about self-preservation. Punishment is about inflicting pain. Which one were you doing? I thought about that for a long time. Both, maybe. That's honest, she said. By November, I felt different. Lighter. Like I'd been carrying something heavy for so long that I'd forgotten what it felt like to put it down. I started dating casually. Nothing serious, just reminding myself what it felt like to connect with people who weren't carrying 18 months of deception. I ran into Rachel, Natalie's friend, at a coffee shop in Cambridge one afternoon. She looked uncomfortable seeing me. "Hey, Oliver." "Hey." Awkward pause. Then, "I'm sorry. About everything. I should have told you." "It wasn't your place to tell me." Still, I knew what she was doing. I knew it was wrong. "Why didn't you say something to her?" Rachel looked down at her coffee. "I did. Multiple times." She was convinced she was doing the right thing. Waiting until everything was certain, not wanting to cause unnecessary stress. She really believed she was being considerate. Considerate, I repeated, tasting the word. That's one way to describe systematic deception. I know it was wrong. For what it's worth, I think she knows that now too. How is she? Copenhagen is great for her career. The fellowship is exactly what she hoped for. But she's been pretty miserable otherwise. I shouldn't have asked, but I did. Why? Because she misses you. Because she realizes what she lost. Because she's in therapy too, working through why she handled it the way she did. I didn't know what to say to that. She wanted me to tell you she's sorry, Rachel continued. She knows you're probably not ready to hear from her directly. But she wants you to know she understands what she did wrong. That she's not trying to excuse it. Okay. That's it. Just okay? What do you want me to say? That I forgive her. That I understand. I don't. Maybe I will someday. But not now. Rachel nodded. That's fair. We parted ways. I thought about that conversation for days afterward. Thought about Natalie in Copenhagen, probably thriving professionally while struggling personally. Thought about whether I should feel satisfied by that, or just sad. Mostly, I felt sad. In late November, I got an email from her. Subject line, "I'm sorry." I stared at it for a long time before opening it. Dear Oliver, I know you're probably not ready to hear from me. Maybe you'll never be ready. But I needed to write this anyway. You were right about everything. I was a coward. I lied to you for 18 months because I was too afraid to have a difficult conversation. I convinced myself I was being kind, that I was protecting you from unnecessary stress. The truth is, I was protecting myself. From your reaction, from having to face what I was doing, from the guilt. Copenhagen is everything I hoped for professionally. The work is incredible, the city is beautiful, the fellowship is exactly what I needed for my career. But none of that makes up for how I treated you. I'm in therapy now, trying to understand why I handled things the way I did. Why I thought deception was better than honesty. Why I prioritized my comfort over your right to know the truth. I don't have good answers yet. What I do know is that I loved you. I still love you in my way. But I loved my career ambitions more, and I wasn't brave enough to admit that to you or to myself. You deserved so much better than what I gave you. You deserved honesty and respect and a real conversation about our future. You deserved a partner who was willing to have hard conversations instead of hiding behind timelines and strategies. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know that I understand what I did wrong. That I see it clearly now. That I'm sorry. I hope you're doing well. I hope you found happiness. I hope someday we can talk again, even if just as old friends who once mattered to each other. But I understand if that never happens. Take care of yourself, Oliver. You always deserved someone who would choose you every day. I'm sorry I wasn't that person. Natalie. I read the email 3 times. Then I closed my laptop and sat in my apartment, thinking. She was right about everything she said. She had been a coward. She had prioritized her own comfort over my right to know the truth. She had been wrong. But I'd been wrong too. Not wrong to protect myself, but wrong in how I did it. Wrong to let it become a game. Wrong to take satisfaction in her panic and confusion. Wrong to make myself cold and calculating instead of just being honest about what I knew. We'd both been wrong, in different ways. 3 days later, I replied to her email. Natalie, thank you for your honesty. It means something, even if it comes too late to change anything. You're right that you were a coward. You're right that you lied, and that you prioritized your comfort over my right to know the truth. I'm glad you understand that now. But I need to be honest too. When I found out about Copenhagen, I made a choice. I chose not to confront you immediately. I chose to pull away strategically. I chose to let you panic and wonder what was happening. That was calculated. It was cold. And while part of it was self-protection, part of it was punishment. I'm not proud of that. I should have just confronted you when I found the letter. Should have given you the chance to explain, even if the explanation wouldn't have changed the outcome. Instead, I made it a game. I made you suffer the way you'd made me suffer, except I did it deliberately while you did it through cowardice. Maybe there's no moral difference. Maybe we both hurt each other in our own ways. I don't know if I forgive you. I don't know if I ever will. What I know is that I understand you better now. I understand why you made the choices you made, even if I don't agree with them. I understand that you were afraid of my reaction, afraid of months of difficult conversations, afraid of losing what comfort we had while you prepared to leave. I understand it. I just wish you'd been brave enough to do it anyway. I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. The promotion is going well. I'm building a life that feels authentic to me. I'm learning what I want in a partner, and it starts with honesty. Not perfect honesty. I know relationships require some measure of kindness and tact, but fundamental honesty about the big things. About future plans and feelings and intentions. I needed that from you, and you couldn't give it to me. Maybe someday we can be friends. Maybe years from now, we'll get coffee when you're back in Boston and laugh about what idiots we were in our 20s. Maybe we'll never speak again. I don't know what the right answer is. What I know is that I need more time. Time to process. Time to heal. Time to become someone who can think about you without feeling betrayed. I'm not there yet. Take care of yourself, Natalie. I hope Copenhagen gives you everything you wanted. I really do. Just next time, have the courage to be honest with the people you love. They deserve that much. Oliver. I sent it before I could second-guess myself. Then I closed my email and didn't check for a response. She didn't respond anyway. Now it's been 3 months since that September night. 3 months since the wine stain on my coffee table marked the moment everything ended. I still haven't cleaned it properly. Maybe I will eventually. Maybe I'll keep it as a reminder. People ask me sometimes how I'm doing. If I regret how things ended. If I miss her. The answers are complicated. I'm doing well. Better than I expected. The anger has faded into something else. Not forgiveness exactly, but acceptance. She made her choices. I made mine. We both hurt each other in the process. Do I regret how it ended? Sometimes. I regret becoming someone cold and strategic. I regret the games. I regret not just being honest about what I knew from the beginning. But I don't regret protecting myself. I don't regret pulling away before she could push me away. I don't regret choosing myself when it became clear she'd already chosen herself. Do I miss her? I miss who I thought she was. I miss the version of her that existed before I knew about Copenhagen. Before I read her journal and saw the calculations. I miss believing in us. But I don't miss the real her. The one who could plan an exit for 18 months while pretending we had a future. The one who could document my shortcomings to justify her departure. The one who could see me as damage to be minimized rather than a partner to be respected. That person, I'm glad to be away from. What I've learned from all this, love isn't enough. Trust isn't enough. You need honesty. You need someone who will have hard conversations instead of hiding behind strategies. You need someone who will choose you clearly, not hedge their bets while planning their escape. Natalie wasn't capable of that. Maybe she will be someday, after more therapy and more life experience. But she wasn't capable of it with me. And I wasn't capable of just being straightforward when I discovered the truth. I let it become a game of information asymmetry and strategic withdrawal. I let myself become someone calculating instead of just being honest about what I discovered. We both failed, just in different ways. Sometimes late at night, I wonder what would have happened if she'd been honest from the start. If she'd come to me in March of 2023 and said, I'm applying for this fellowship in Copenhagen. It's a long shot, but if I get it, I'll have to decide whether to go. I want you to know that I'm considering it. Would we have survived? Would I have supported her? Would she have asked me to come with her? I'll never know. She didn't give us that chance. What I do know, the wine stain on my coffee table is still there. A permanent mark of the moment when pretending everything was fine became impossible. When 18 months of deception finally came to light. When we both had to face what we'd become to each other. Someday I'll refinish that table. Someday the stain won't matter anymore. But not yet. For now, it's a reminder of what happens when you choose comfort over honesty. When you choose strategy over transparency. When you choose yourself so completely that you forget the other person deserves a choice too. Natalie is in Copenhagen now, building her impressive international career. I'm in Boston, building a life that feels authentic to me. We're both where we're supposed to be. We're just not there together. And maybe that's the real lesson. Sometimes people grow apart. Sometimes careers pull you in different directions. Sometimes what you want changes. All of that is natural and okay. What's not okay is the lying. The 18 months of deception. The careful management of someone else's reality to suit your timeline. That's the part one can't forgive yet. Maybe I never will. But I'm working on it. Working on understanding. Working on letting go of the anger. Working on becoming someone who can trust again, who can believe in a future with someone again. It takes time. Healing takes time. For now, I'm okay with where I am. Single. Focused on work. Building friendships. Learning what I want and what I won't accept. Growing into someone who knows his worth. And if I'm honest, that's more than okay. That's actually pretty good. The wine stain can wait. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.